And now welcome back inside the Collins Arena as we get set for Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight as Brookdale takes on Atlantic Cape. Brian Goudsworth, Tim Catalfamo back here with you. Well, for Brookdale, a lot of close calls to start this season, but they haven't manifested into many wins, only 1-4 to start the year. And Tim, I guess the question is, how can this team turn these close losses into getting over the hump and getting wins?
Well, they just have to execute. And we were talking with Coach Chizza just a couple moments ago down on the floor. They just have got to be able to run their offense and execute inside. That's been an area that they've struggled with this season. They quite haven't been able to get the shots that they're looking for in the post. So it's going to be important for the Jersey Blues tonight, especially being able to utilize some of the players they have downstairs against a very tough Atlantic Cape team that comes in here with a lot of momentum. They're going to have to be able to get plays executed inside the post area, which has been a struggle point for them. And you look also at the fact that these are very close games. They could go either way. They've been decided by a couple of buckets. They had a very close game against Union County a couple of days ago. They've had numerous close games this season. So it really has just been trying to get those last couple of buckets late in the game. When you have the ball on offense, they haven't quite been able to do so. So it's all about execution. We'll see what Brookdale can do this evening on the floor.
As you see the Brookdale starting lineup being introduced to the Collins Arena faithful as we speak. And for the Jersey Blues tonight, Paul Chizek will go with Jelani Carter, Dave Calloway, Adam Kukai, with Demir Fitch and Alan Ozoje. For the visiting Buccaneers, who enter action one game over the 500 mark at 3-2, it'll be Garrett Jones, Ashawn Centino, Tariq Adams, Ray Abbott, and Kai Dixon. And getting to watch the Buccaneers means an opportunity to watch one of the most talented players in all of the region in Ashawn Centino.
Yeah, in fact, he was actually named Region 19 Player of the Week this week. A very impressive player, averages around 28 a game. Had a season-high 35 points earlier this year against Passaic, so a player that Brookdale definitely is going to have to watch out for. He's quick, he's lean, and he's very dangerous, so Jersey Blues have got to keep an eye on that player wearing the blue number 1 tonight on the side for Atlantic Cape.
Final game of the month of November tonight. As next it'll be December, and that's when Brookdale will next take the floor 1 week from tonight. But first, a big region tilt against the Buccaneers. We are ready for the opening tip. Ozoje for the Jersey Blues, Adams for the Bucks. We're underway. Brookdale controls it. Calloway getting the start. He mostly has done his work coming off the bench. Here's Carter. Crossover move. Shot clock winding down inside 7. Nice cut to the basket, but missing inside is Fitch. And the other way, Atlantic Cape comes. Centino off the glass, and he is fouled. And check that, that's Garrett Jones, who wears number 0, and he will shoot the first free throw attempts of the game.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Brookdale had an opportunity to get an easy bucket inside. A nice pass from Ozoje to Fitch, but just not quite able to execute. Those are the points that Brookdale down the stretch is going to need, especially inside the post. They haven't quite been able to get those points in close games. That's been one of the reasons why they've had these, seems like, numerous games that have come down to the wire this year.
Jones just a 44% free throw shooter, the freshman from Ocean City, New Jersey. Readies for a second of 2, and he's got them both.
And you know, Brian, this is a team in Atlantic Cape that struggles from the foul line. They only shoot 54% as a team. Multiple players really have a lot of difficulty from the charity stripe, so it'll be a storyline we'll keep following all night long.
Here is Centino, his first points. First of what figures to be many. They come on the fast break. It's 4-0 Buccaneers. Calloway for Ozoje, and deflected out off Atlantic Cape. That gets a round of applause from their bench, and the Jersey Blues to inbound underneath.
And You already see how quick Centino is, especially off of the dribble.
Kukai able to take the inbounds pass, go up and score, and Brookdale is on the board.
And in that loss that Brookdale had on Thursday night against Union, Kukai led the team with 18 points, including 2 threes from behind the three-point line.
Yes, that is Kai Dixon cleaning up the initial miss. Fitch swings it. Kukai lines it up. Off the mark on a 3. Rebound handled by Dixon. Garrett Jones, a hesitation move into the paint. Tough shot. Tippin doesn't go. Ozoje gets it. Brookdale running. Kukai out of the floor. Bank shot. No, flying in for the dunk attempt, but it missed from Fitch. And now Ozoje is blocked by Dixon. Centino the other way. Lefty layup, missed it. Back and forth we go. This is fun to watch. Callaway for 3. And a loose ball foul as Ozoje called for a push.
Yeah, that's a good call by the officials. Ozoje pushed off trying to grab that rebound, but you already see how quickly Atlantic Cape can run the floor. We talked to both Coach Anderson and Coach Chizak before the game. They both said they want to run. They want their offenses to get out and run. And so far, they've kind of canceled each other out. They've been back and forth, but it's Atlantic Cape that's been able to execute better on offense when they've had the ball.
Well, you know, it's always going to be a part of the game plan for Brookdale to run. It's just always what they do. It's in their DNA. Down by 4 in the early going. Going glass. Jones couldn't get it to fall. Carter catching fire. Way off the mark. It's an air ball. A slow start for Brookdale offensively. They're 0 for on their 3-point attempts.
And sometimes when you like to run, Brian, you need to be able to learn control, and that's been something that we've seen Brookdale struggle with at different times this season. This up-tempo offense, that's one thing that's a characteristic of Coach Chizak. That's a type of offense he likes to run. It's been a staple of this team for many years, but you have to be able to be in control. Brookdale so far hasn't quite been able to grasp that in this game.
Centino, short, might have been blocked. It's picked up by Carter. Brookdale looking to push the other way. Callaway for Celius, who's able to score on a quick timeout taken by the Buccaneers. So Robert Williams will bring his group together. It's an Atlantic Cape team that's one of the better teams offensively. They average just under 90 points a game, and so the challenge for Brookdale, is going to be keeping up with that kind of pace.
Yeah, and they're certainly very talented. They have a lot of quick players. We've talked about Centino, Garrett Jones, another player that can run the length of the floor very easily. And they have good size downstairs and a player in Kyle Dixon. We've already seen him come up a couple times so far with some great rebounds, doing a nice job boxing out downstairs. So this is going to be a really tough challenge. Atlantic Cape getting off to one of the best starts they've ever had under Coach Anderson. And Brookdale, that's been on a slide as of late, is just looking to try to survive in their own building.
Brookdale trying to put a stop to a 3-game losing streak. Kind of uncharted waters for them to start a year 1 up and 4 down. Possession with Atlantic Cape. Jones handling. Jones to the baseline. Now back out top of the key. Centino makes his move hard to the hole. Off the glass, he missed it. Dixon drew the foul. A late whistle is going to put him at the line, and Paul Chizek is looking for an explanation.
Well, that's the 3rd team foul on Brookdale so far. And this will be 2 shots because in the officials' mind, Dixon was in the act of shooting. So not only has Brookdale had difficulty keeping up with Atlantic Cape, but they're starting to run into some foul trouble. This is a team in Atlantic Cape that doesn't shoot all that well from the foul line, as I mentioned earlier, but they've made all their foul shots so far this evening.
Yeah, they come in at only 54%, Dixon at only 30, but no problem. As Atlantic Cape doubling up Brookdale in the early going, it's 8-4. Approaching 4 minutes gone by. Kukai to the corner, Carter, he drills it. Jelani Carter for 3.
And a nice job by Kukai drawing the defense into the paint and kicking out to Carter, who was open in the wing.
Brookdale within 1 now. Tariq Adams, he fires from the corner. And it's taken back by Adams for the Buccaneers. Centino. Loose ball collected by Kukai. Back and forth we go. Fitch all the way to the basket for the layup.
And Jameer Fitch, great athleticism, giving Brookdale the lead.
9-8. Atlantic Cape comes off a blowout loss, 93-71, as Abbott, nothing but net. Ray Abbott from downtown. Salias was all alone in the paint, and he takes advantage.
And this is the type of game that we were expecting. Back and forth, both teams like to run. And that's what we're seeing, answering each other back and forth.
Centino pull-up jump. No. Offensive rebound. And gets the roll. Adams on the second chance. Callaway using the screen. 3 on the way. Too strong. Long rebound. Centino run into by Callaway. And Brookdale's Callaway will pick up team foul number 4.
And I don't know if I like that shot by Callaway there. It's early on in the shot clock. This is a team in Brookdale, especially when you're not able to catch the defense off guard, that has to work the ball around the perimeter. I think that's one of the reasons why Callaway, along with Kukai, are coming out of the game. Coach Chuzak wants to make an adjustment.
DeAndre Smith in to replace Callaway. And for Atlantic Cape, Dixon to the bench. He's replaced in the lineup by Tim Bethel. 14.5 to go first half. Entertaining, high-flying pace to start. High screen comes. Centino for Adams inside the arc, bucket. Timeout Brookdale as something of a defensive breakdown on that last possession, and Paul Chizek wants to make sure it gets corrected. Full timeout. We'll step aside here on Brookdale TV.
For literally every interest.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yes. Well, guys, I think I found the club that's right for me. To learn more, visit our website at brookdalecc.edu. I'm Sophia Pearl with Brookdale Television. Thanks for watching. Oh, na, na, na. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
Brookdale Community College, the power to provide accessibility to over 60 degree and certification classes on campus and online, to provide a rich community of faculty and student life, to provide affordability through financial aid, scholarships, and grants. Brookdale Community College, the power to provide you the access, affordability, and community to reach your education goals. Join us March 31st from 1 to 4 at our Spring Open House. RSVP today at brookdalecc.edu/open house.
Crew. Good start to this one. Brookdale and Atlantic Cape. Jersey Blues in a 4-point hole. Carter looking to change that. Misses on a 3-point try. Jones the other way for the Bucks. Jones to the basket. Good contest there on the part of Fitch, and then knocked out of bounds off Adams. It'll be Brookdale possession as they make a change here. Mark Bruce in for the first time, replacing Jelani Carter.
And we talked to Coach Chizak before the game. He said he was going to be rotating a lot of players, especially if his team didn't get off to a great start. I wouldn't say that they got off to a great start. They've been able to show that they can perform well on offense, but compared to Atlantic Cape, they're behind. So Chizak trying to keep as many fresh legs on the court as possible.
Fitch with Celius, the two-man game, and Celius draws the foul. So Celius, who has not been to the free throw line this season, and as a result I have a line for his free throw percentage, but he'll have a percentage after his first one here, as the foul is on Centino. It's his first. Freshman, Wall, New Jersey native.
We mentioned the struggles with Atlantic Cape from the foul line. They haven't really bothered them too much. They shoot at 54%. Brookdale as well, 54% from the foul line. So neither team on paper shooting all that well, but tonight really hasn't been much of a problem.
2 out of 2 for Celius. That's a free throw number that neither team is going to be satisfied with on the season. What a move, Centino exploding to the basket.
And he's just got some speed, Brian. I mean, it's visible all the way up here in the broadcast booth how quick he is.
Kukai knocks it down, the short baseline jumper. 7 minutes gone by, 2-point Buccaneer lead. Jones. Centino way outside. Screen comes. Centino for 3. Off balance, he drains it. Deion Wilson is checked in, doubled. Celius is open, a 3, he's got it!
And so far, Brookdale has done a nice job moving the ball around the perimeter. That's not really Celius's range, but nonetheless, he's able to take a clean look at the basket, and Brookdale's making their shots. They're keeping pace with the Bucks.
Adams along the baseline, misses, tipped. And a foul is called as that ball was loose. And it looks to be against the Buccaneers. It is. Team foul number 2. As for Jones, it's his first. And there you see Robert Anderson. Very energetic guy. Fun meeting with him pregame. Talking about this matchup going in. And as you mentioned, Tim, he wanted his team to run with Brookdale. So that's batted out of bounds off Bethel.
Yeah, that was the strategy that he wanted to pull. I asked him, well, you know, Brookdale's going to run right at you. He said, yes, that's why we're going to run right back at them. So far we've seen that back and forth game. Both teams really haven't been able to up one or the other, so to speak. They haven't really been able to outplay each other. It's been pretty even so far, but definitely that up-tempo offense going back and forth on both ways.
Bruce unable to hit, loose ball, and it's picked up by Abbott. 2-on-1 break. Jones goes up and banks it in. DeAndre Smith running the point. Cuts to the basket. Looking for space, and he throws an interception into the hands of Centino. Centino from the foul line. No good. Offensive rebound. Adams draws the foul.
Yeah, Brookdale got lucky there. That was a rare miss by Centino from the foul line. But once again, a nice job rebounding downstairs. Tariq Adams, a player, along with Kyle Dixon, that has size, has some body downstairs that Brookdale's going to have to contend with tonight. They don't really have a whole lot of size downstairs. That's been a weak point this year.
Adams, one of many Buccaneers who struggles mightily from the free throw line, just 25%. Change for Brookdale, Celius, who provided good energy in his stint in the game. He's to the bench now, and Jeremiah Flurant is in. Second attempt is good, and 1 out of 2 for Adams. Extends to a 5-point Atlantic Cape lead. Approach the halfway mark of this first half. Bruce. Kukai directing. Shot clock at 9. Kukai drives and scores! What a move!
Nice job by Kukai taking it to the rim. Kind of a little bit of a collapse there for Atlantic Cape. Nobody filled that lane, and Kukai recognized that and took it to the rim.
Offensive foul. It's going the other way. Tim Bethel picks it up. For Brookdale, they're coming off what else? A close game and a loss, 55-53, a tough one on Thursday against Union. Game that they had their chances late, but just not enough to get the win. Reverse layup, Beon Wilson put him on the board.
And Beon Wilson, you may not realize it on television, but he's 6'7" as a freshman, stands very tall. May have to add a little bit more weight, especially going through his playing career, but a very talented freshman that Brookdale has on their roster.
Abbott can't connect, rebounded by Wilson. Brookdale looking to run with Kukai. Smith, a fake.
Good
Inside
find.
is Wilson, can't convert that time, follows it up for 2. Back-to-back buckets for the freshman. Brookdale back in front, 24-23. Jones with a floater. Rebound Wilson. Floated ahead for Smith. Smith going all the way for the layup.
And this is the type of offense that you see Brookdale run throughout the year. Now they're being able to execute, and now the pressure's on Atlantic Cape to somehow come up with an answer.
Centino inside the arc, banks it in. He is tough to defend.
There's a reason why he averages around 28 points a game.
And has scored at least 20 in all 5 of the Buccaneers games this year. 26-25, Brookdale in the lead. Bruce, yes.
And Mark Bruce is one of those players also as a freshman that is developing nicely as the season goes along. He had a couple threes in a season opener against Camden. Nice shot there from the left elbow.
Adams misfires, another rebound for Wilson. Brookdale running now, Smith, Kukai, a 3. Off the rim, no, and it's out of bounds. Staying with the Jersey Blues. Substitution, Jelani Carter has returned. And Beon Wilson to the bench. Job well done out of him. 4 points. Rebounding the ball as well. Good spark coming off the bench. Here's a last-second change for Atlantic Cape. Adams to the bench. He's replaced by Mashur Hayes. Inbounder is Smith. And tied up underneath was Flurant. Atlantic Cape has it, but dangerously close to the out of bounds. I think they thought they called a timeout. We'll see what the call was here. They must have gotten a foul. Looks before a timeout was taken. Rather confusing sequence there.
Yeah, it definitely did look like a jump ball. Nice recognition there by Jersey Blues trying to trap in the corner. But we expected both these two teams to come out strong like this. In fact, in the last two matchups that the teams had last year, both games were decided by less than 4 points. So these are two teams that historically have played each other very close.
Yeah, you look at the season series a year ago, and they split it. And as you mentioned, the games were decided by 2 points and 3 points, respectively. So these two head-to-head, when they go at it, it's typically a dogfight. And with the amount of close games Brookdale has played to start this season, it's no wonder this game is close to start as well. Looks like we're going to be in for a good one. The pace has been frantic as Centino gets to the basket, and he is fouled. And that's one thing that he does so well is get to the basket, draw the contact. He averages double figures as far as free throw attempts, and back at the line he goes.
And I'll be interested to see if Brookdale ever goes to a 2-3 zone. Sometimes it'll try to slow down a team, not only that can push the ball up the floor, but a player like Centino, when you go man-to-man, you open yourself up for the opportunity for the guy with the ball to be able to either get a screen or with his explosive speed, which we have seen Centino have in this game so far, just take it to the rim himself and go one-on-one and draw a foul. So I'll be interested to see if Brookdale at some point goes to a 2-3 zone or maybe even a 3-2 zone to try to force the Bucks' hand and make an adjustment.
And he shoots free throws well. 76% on the year, as Ian Felix in for DeAndre Smith for the Jersey Blues. Centino, the sophomore from Pleasantville, New Jersey. And he's able to make them both. 28-27. Bruce, a long three, is rebounded by Centino. Atlantic Cape looking to take the lead back with Jones, and he does just that.
And Jones is one of those players that is a very solid freshman on the side for the Bucks. Averages around 8 points a game. Player that is not talked about a whole lot, but can definitely pose as a threat.
Carter comes up short. Kevin Gazandi is in now. He handles to the basket and gets the roll. Strong move, Kevin Gazandi.
And that's his first career points, Brian, coming off of the bench.
And he's pressed into service because the Buccaneers are without a couple of regulars tonight. Kukai misses on the reverse, gets the follow. Tippin won't go. And finally the rebound to Dixon. Jones picked up by Felix, calls out a play. Working around the screen, driving baseline, slips it inside, and Dixon is fouled. For Jelani Carter, that's his second. Dixon, though, just a 30% free throw shooter, although he made a pair earlier. And look at that, he's now 3 for 3. Tyrese Bryant is in now, as is Demir Fitch, returning for the Jersey Blues as Bruce and Carter go out. Atlantic Cape on a little bit of a run here to go in front by 5. Under 6 minutes to go until halftime. Nice cut by Flurant, but he missed the easy one.
Yeah, it was a good pass by Fitch. Nice eyes, but Again, Brookdale just not able to execute in the paint.
Centino has it taken away. Brookdale numbers it. They hurry. Felix all the way for the bucket.
And Ian Felix is just one of those players that has great explosive speed. Didn't get the start tonight, but is one of those players as a ball handler when he's on the floor that can kind of run the Brookdale offense. And when you get him out in space, better watch out. He's got great potential to take it to the rim.
Gazanti has it stripped. Felix a clear path ahead. Lays it in. Five minutes to the half in a 1-point game. Hayes, a jump pass for Dixon, who missed it on the inside, and it's rebounded by Flurant. Flurant working on Jones. Down low for Kukai, a dribble, and he missed it. Offensive rebound, and thrown away by Bryant. Beyond Wilson returning now. Flurant to the Brookdale bench. First of two meetings for these teams this season. Shaping up to be an entertaining one. Centino creating space, but he's too strong on the jumper. And a travel is called on Bryant. Dell was looking to push it into the front court, but to no avail. Paul Chizek there, 28 years at the helm, and the number out of 28 that his team has started 1-4 is probably minuscule.
Yeah, especially the last 5 or 6 years. It's been very odd for Brookdale to be this late in the season, even though we're still pretty early, but to be this late already and not have a win at home.
Hayes drills it. Mashur Hayes, a three-pointer. Fitch, a blocking foul is called, and Demir Fitch will step to the line. First personal on Mashur Hayes. It's team foul number 4. Fitch, the Hoboken product. Free throw shooting has to be an area of focus for this Brookdale team to improve upon as this year goes on, because it has been a tough start in that category. Nothing out of 2 there, and it goes to the Buccaneers.
Well, especially when you're in so many close games. Obviously, we talked about that earlier, trying to execute on every opportunity that you have, but especially when you're in a lot of close games, every point matters. And if you're not making your foul shots late in the game, that adds up, and certainly that'll cost you down the stretch.
Garrett Jones gets a breather. He's replaced by a new player for the Buccaneers in Lamar's first action of the season, as that is a kick ball. Jeremiah Lamar, who checked in, has not seen any prior action this season for Atlantic Cape. But as mentioned, they're without one of their best players, Marcus Franklin, who's their second leading scorer. Centino is called for steps as he was navigating the baseline. And Brookdale will take over. We'll reset the lineup. They have Beon Wilson, DeAndre Smith, Adam Kukai, Tyrese Bryant, and Demir Fitch. Hit the 3-minute mark first half. That's a turnover. And that will immediately necessitate a substitution as Callaway checks in. Hayes has it taken away, but it was kicked previously, so it stays with the Bucks. Another substitution upcoming here. Hayes out, and Julius Logan is in, so a lot of first-timers for the Buccaneers seeing their first action of the season.
Well, we talked about the fact that you have Raymond Rodriguez and Marcus Franklin, one of the two leading scorers on the side for the Bucks, not active tonight. It's going to open up the opportunity for Anderson to look to his bench and try to sub in as many players as he can. And we've also seen Brookdale play a lot of players that we really weren't expecting to see this early on in the game, such as Dave Calloway, come into the floor and even start.
Shot clock expires, and Atlantic Cape unable to get a shot away.
And just poor awareness there for the Bucks. I don't think they realized the shot clock was winding down. Frustrating there on the sidelines for Coach Anderson.
36-32, Brookdale down. Fitch, crossover, gets inside. It's his own rebound, reset of the shot clock. As Smith, blocked by Dixon. Great help defense that time. Shot clock now down to 12. Smith drives in, jumper in the paint, too strong. Rebound leaped for and grabbed by Lamar. Callaway got a hand on it. Jazandi blocked. Brookdale the other way with Bryant, tip in no, and it is out of bounds. Brookdale retains it. Boy, they have missed so many shots right near the basket. That has been a big story in this first half.
And even though a lot of people may say, well, those are easy shots to make, right? Well, on paper, yes, but when you have a bunch of bodies around you, it's harder than it looks. Despite that, though, if you're Brookdale, you got to make those shots inside the paint.
Taken away by the Bucks. Centino leads the charge to the basket with a scoop lefty layup, and he's going to the line.
And really for Atlantic Cape, it's pretty much the same play every single time they come down the floor, especially when they're in transition. They give it to Santino, and he takes it right to the rim and draws a foul and goes to the charity stripe. So it's an opportunity for Brookdale to maybe change up their defense if they want to stop that, but it's working so far for the Bucks, and Brookdale hasn't had an answer to slow down Santino.
The reigning Garden State Athletic Conference Player of the Week. He's good on the first attempt. And he is in the top 5 in scoring, not just in the Region 19, but in all of the nation. For Division III, he ranks number 4 at the 28 point per game figure. 38-32, Bucks. Reach and foul as Callaway collected the pass, and it's on Julius Logan. Team foul number 5. Brookdale has committed 8 of them. All alone is Fitch, who rocks the rim with 2 hands.
And that was just a lapse of concentration there for the Bucks. No one was really set when Brookdale went to go inbound the ball, and Fitch there left all alone with the throwdown.
Tick under a minute to go now in the half. Centino, no. And it's picked up by Bruce. 5 on 4 with Centino just now getting to his feet. Brookdale looking to take advantage of that as Bryant, it goes and one.
And that was set up by Dave Callaway with an excellent pass. Watch this, splitting 2 defenders, a no-look pass to his teammate downstairs. And then Bryant's able to clean it up. He'll go to the line for one more.
And you never know on a game basis who is going to be the spark plug, as Brookdale has so many options. Not many have really taken the reins and been big-time scorers, but Bryant has chipped in for one nicely tonight. Little used coming in as he averages under 2 points a game. But the freshman from Matawan trying to make it a 3-point play. About a 9-second difference, shot and game clock. Centino. Here is Lamar, way off the mark, fielded by Smith. Shot clock turned off. Bruce, a dribble, puts up a jumper, and it's too strong. Offensive rebound, Felix has it knocked out of bounds, and they say last touch Brookdale. They can't believe it.
Yeah, and I don't like that shot by Mark Bruce. I know that you have the momentum, you're feeling it on offense. You want to try to go for the monumental three that would bring the house down, so to speak, but you still had a lot of time to work on that last possession. You could have worked the ball around a little bit more. I'm not sure if I like that three so much.
Substitution for the final 7.7 ticks. It's Mashur Hayes for Julius Logan. Shot clock turned off. The pass hits the glass.
Yeah, hit the side of the backboard there.
You don't see that often. And Brookdale is going to take over. That's a turnover. And Paul Chizek wants to make sure he gets a good final play design, so he uses a timeout. And it's a full timeout with 7.7 seconds remaining. We'll be right back here on Brookdale TV.
There's a lot more about myself than I ever thought about in years, and I've never felt better as a person than I am today after coming to this school.
Thank you, Brookdale Community College.
Thank you, Brookdale Community College.
The faculty and the staff here at Brookdale, they've been so welcoming.
Professors, a lot of them have changed my life.
The advisors are so helpful.
I am so thankful for Brookdale Community College for helping me achieve my success.
I was really impressed with the amount of resources that were available to me. The campus is beautiful, and there are a lot of benefits to being in a place that looks nice in terms of learning.
Thank you, Brookdale Community College, for my scholarship.
Thanks a lot.
Being involved, I got to meet a lot of great people.
I've had such a great experience there.
The professors I've had at Brookdale are always super nice. They truly care about.
Final 7.7 seconds of this entertaining first half. Atlantic Cape holding on to a 1-point lead. Brookdale trying to hit the locker room with a lead if they can score here. Shot clock turned off. Inbounder is Bryant. Bounce it in for Felix from a top angle. It goes and one. Oh, wow.
Just a great find on the inbound play. Felix in the right place at the right time, going strong up after he gets the ball. And if Brookdale can hang on here and take a lead in the halftime, that would be huge in the game of momentum.
Callaway sits, Beyond Wilson in. And Felix looking for the three-point play. 57% free throw shooter. He gets the roll. 6.2 remaining. Pressure in the backcourt. Handed off for Hayes. Hayes with 4 across midcourt. Hayes to the basket with a floater. Banks it in at the horn. And only fitting that this game hits the halftime break. Knotted up at 40 apiece. What a first half in this Region 19 matchup as we get set to welcome you back inside with Brian Gadsford and Tim Catalfamo. And Tim, not sure you could have a more even first half as we've seen from these two teams, and it just kind of follows the script of what we've seen from Brookdale all season long thus far, playing these close games, and it just becomes a matter of executing down the stretch.
Well, they definitely have met their match in an opponent that can run the ball up the floor, especially in transition, just like they can. So it's certainly going to be a challenge, I think, for both teams going forward, because pretty much both teams are even. I mean, they've got similar talent. I think Atlantic Cape, if you have to look at how they played, has a slight advantage as far as how they've been able to take care of the ball. But Brookdale, the last couple of minutes, has been able to show that they have the presence inside to make some shots. Of course, a very nice bucket there late in the game to be able to tie it all up at 40 on the side for Atlantic Cape. So I think both these two teams right now have to feel pretty good about how they performed in the first half. The question is going to be who's going to be able to make their shots down the stretch. It's been an area that Brookdale has struggled in, and especially in a close game like this, it seems like yet again, we talk about this every single week, Brookdale has to make their shots if they want to close out the game.
And the Jersey Blues looking to put an end to a 3-game losing streak. In order to do so, they'll have to outscore the visiting Buccaneers in the second half. For now, we are tied at 40, and we'll take a break for the halftime and come back right here on Brookdale TV. 40-40, Brookdale tied up with Atlantic Cape as we get set to start the second half. Brian Goudsford, Tim Kettlefamo back here with you. And I think, Tim, the key for Brookdale is to find a go-to scorer here. It's been kind of a balanced scoring effort throughout the season and tonight, but to find that one option that can take them to a win.
I mean, it could be Adam Kukai, it could be Ian Felix, it could be a whole number of players that Brookdale has on their side that could do just that. They're going to need a little bit more consistency on offense. I know the game is tied right now, but at times I felt like they were sloppy in the first half. Brookdale was, and Atlantic Cape was able to capitalize. The real question is going to be, is Santino going to be able to run away with this in the second half? If he gets going, it's trouble for Brookdale. He had a great first half. We'll see how he does in the second half of play.
Should be interesting as we get set to start here. They'll have their original starting lineup on the floor of Callaway, Carter, Kukai, Fitch, and Ozoje. Actually, one change, though, to this lineup as Tyrese Bryant is in to start the half, and he did not start the game. A tough shot, and a foul is called. Garrett Jones will immediately go to the line 12 seconds into the second half. As it's on Adam Kukai, and that is his second. Two teams both came in struggling at the free throw line for the season, but had a pretty good first half. Is on cue, a miss from Jones.
Yeah, foul shooting really hasn't been much of an issue for either of these two teams. On paper, they're not really all doing that great, but they've made their shots down the stretch, which has been impressive tonight. Obviously, as soon as we say that, Jones misses them both, so we jinxed him there, but really, both teams have shot pretty well from the foul line.
That's what's known as the old announcer's jinx. Some say it doesn't exist, but perhaps it does. Here is Carter, count it, and one. The adjustment from Carter midair to initiate the contact and a chance at a three-point play.
And just great ball movement there on that last possession. Carter in transition, able to get the ball at the right time. A great assist there on the Jersey Blues. Carter was in position, and that's where his strength is. I know he can shoot the three, but really where Carter should be positioned is down there on the lower block, getting feeds from the perimeter.
And Carter makes good on the three-point play. Jersey Blues back in front, 43-40. Half minute gone, second half. Backtracking for it, Dixon. Buccaneers get reset, bounce past Santino inside, and Kai Dixon makes it count. Good passing there from Atlantic Cape, cuts it to one. Kukai, he got it. Kukai is the Brookdale leading scorer on the year, averaging a shade under 14 a game. One of two to average double figures. Jones backs way up with the shot clock at 10. Screen from Dixon. Adams against Carter with two, with one, the cut, and was it in time? It was.
Well, that's definitely one way to use a full 30-second shot clock, I'll say. Wow.
Fitch. Pass knocked out by Dixon. Brookdale retains it. Beyond Wilson had to wait an extra beat before he comes in, and now he does. Jelani Carter to the bench. Jersey Blues by one. Callaway takes the handoff. Callaway a back in. Fitch curling to the basket, lays it up and in.
And Fitch has been one of those players that I think is gaining confidence each game that goes by during this year. He started out a little shaky. I think is one of those players that is trying to himself build some confidence as the season goes along. But great awareness there, taking it to the rim.
Strong move by Garrett Jones. Bounce pass for Bryant in stride, but he missed the layup. Brookdale has had more than its share of misses from point-blank range. Backing in is Jones, and a foul is called. Robert Anderson communicating with his star sophomore Centino, and it's free throws for Jones. Just a 44% free throw shooter. I think both teams like the fact that we're saying all these low free throw numbers because they're determined to up those percentages.
It might have something to do with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm just as surprised as you are, Brian, in a good way. I mean, obviously, I'm not wishing any team to shoot poorly, but I'm kind of surprised that both teams have been shooting as well as they have from the free throw line this evening.
Fitch. Kukai is open, drives in, lays it up and in. And it appeared the inbounds pass from Dixon, he was on the end line. And a costly miscue for the Buccaneers there as the Jersey Blues take over. In front of their own basket, Callaway. Back out top, Wilson. Callaway sets the screen. A little out of control. Bryant zigzagging.
Good defense there by Garrett Jones.
Bryant for Fitch inside. He scores. (51-48). Centino scoreless to start the half. High screen comes. Centino makes his move. Gliding in. He missed it. And it's rebounded by Fitch. Brookdale nearly threw it away. That's a foul. As Wilson down in a heap. Assisted to his feet, Garrett Jones, guilty on the foul. Brookdale also, and this may sound hard to believe, but they're looking for their first home win on the season as they started with back-to-back defeats here in Lincroft, and this has been a place where they have dominated over the last several years. Callaway for three. Yes.
And Callaway didn't even set his feet coming around the screen. Right now, Brookdale's just doing a better job on both sides of the floor, shutting down Atlantic Cape.
Centino misses the runner. Brookdale looking to run. Kukai for Bryant. Bounce pass couldn't be handled by Wilson. Brookdale going for another highlight in the fast break, but it's a turnover.
Yeah, hit Beyond Wilson in the face. Not really a whole lot you could do there. Pass has got to be a little bit lower. But still, you see the speed. Brookdale has come out in the second half a little bit quicker. I think they've caught Atlantic Cape off guard. And they're scoring. Getting some buckets in transition. Atlantic Cape searching for some answers on offense.
Mashur Hayes in, as is Ray Abbott for the Buccaneers. Abbott gets a touch. Callaway defending. Hayes. Nice move, Mashur Hayes. Cuts it to a 4-point deficit. 5 minutes gone, second half. Bryant. Wilson, it's going the other way. Offensive foul. Negate the basket.
Yeah, Jones in one of those areas known as the restricted area. Good call by the officials. Unfortunately for Wilson, a little bit out of control. Would have liked to have seen it pulled up just a little bit sooner, but a good call by the officials.
Mark Bruce and Ian Felix come in for Callaway and Beyond Wilson, respectively. Game that has been tight throughout. It should go down to the wire. Why not? Here's Hayes. Abbott. Inside for Dixon, who banks it in.
And Mark Bruce was doing everything he could there, trying to keep the ball away from Dixon. Dixon able to break free and score the basket.
Felix for Bruce. Fakes. Pass taken away. Centino splits through, gets to the basket. It goes, plus the foul. And that's what Ashawn Centino can do. Ever so dangerous on the fast break. Clarence Sealy is in on the Brookdale side. Unable to hit. Offensive rebound, Dixon. And a reach-in foul is going to go against Tyrese Bryant. So the foul starting to rack up here. That's 5 of them. 14:08 to go, and a game tied up at 54. Inbounds is over the head and off the hand of Hayes for a Buccaneer turnover. Reset the Brookdale lineup. They had Felix, Bruce, Kukai, Celius, and Bryant. Swing it for Bryant. Bryant a fake. Now he triggers and hits.
That's going to be a push on Garrett Jones, yeah.
Garrett Jones called for extending the arm. Tim Bethel in as Garrett Jones has 4 personals. So he's in foul trouble. He's now on the bench. Jersey Blues lead by 3. Bruce. Shot clock inside 10. Bruce to the basket. Nifty move, and he banks it home.
Brookdale going with a full court man-to-man. Something that Atlantic Cape was able to handle in the first half, but so far they're struggling just a bit here in the second.
And it's going the other way. Offensive foul on the Bucks.
You're starting to see the Buccaneers get flustered just a little bit. They haven't started out the second half all that great. They're getting a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end, and that's now several offensive fouls in this second half alone that have gone against the Bucks.
Brookdale at its largest lead, trying to add to it. Bryant. And it's off Bethel. Jersey Blues retain possession. Lob it out for Bruce. Bruce, long three. Too strong, and getting up for the rebound is Dixon. Hayes a crossover, back out for Abbott. His three-pointer is good. And Ray Abbott, he doesn't score much, but it usually comes from the three-point line where he shoots over 50%. Kukai, the answer? No. But the follow is good for Celius. Eight minutes gone. Abbott. Bethel goes down. A blocking foul is called. This is on Celius, his first, team sixth.
And if you're Atlantic Cape here, Brian, you just want to work for a good shot. You've been trying to keep the tempo with Brookdale. Both teams have slowed down, but you want to get a good look at the rim.
That's a good look, but Bethel missed it on the inside, tries to stay with it, and it's taken by Bryant. Brookdale looking to push the tempo, led by Felix. Misses from in the paint. And now leaking out is Abbott. His bounce pass is for Centino. Back for Abbott, who lays it in.
How about Centino not giving up on the play there? It was a great box out by Kyle Dixon on the other end to set up that play. And don't look now, but Atlantic Cape was within two.
61-59. Bruce takes it in and scores. Mark Bruce would not be denied.
And that's the type of play that I want to see out of Mark Bruce. We've seen him a couple times in this game pull the trigger from behind the three-point line. I know he can make those shots, but I don't think that's his strength. I'd rather see him go to the rim.
Abbott for three. Got another. Ray Abbott is heating up. And it's back to a one-point game.
A little bit of a breakout game for Ray Abbott.
Celius down low. Nice move, and he puts it home with the right hand. Brookdale set to make a host of changes at the next whistle. Halfway through this second half, Centino, a three, is too strong. Blocking foul on Centino near midcourt as Felix was handling. And here come the aforementioned host of changes. It's DeAndre Smith, Demir Fitch, Beon Wilson, all checking in for Bruce, Bryant, and somebody else. Felix, the other one to hit the bench. So the Brookdale lineup is now Smith, Wilson, Kukai, Celius, and Fitch as we get a whistle. And it looks like we will have a timeout with 9:56 to go. Good game here on Brookdale TV. We'll take a quick break and come right back.
Into a lot of people in these cages in the Southwest and all that, you know, it's like, it's a very sad thing. So, I mean, if you stand on the side of the undocumented and you believe that they deserve better treatment than they've currently been receiving under the current administration, then I'd highly recommend that you invest in our club.
What else do you get out of this club, you think?
There was a trip we took to D.C., I think, last year, where the Dreamers got to, like, lobby on behalf of immigrant rights in D.C. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting experiences relating to, like, the politics behind all this stuff that you can definitely experience if you join our club. And, you know, we'll see what this year brings, but last year was pretty interesting.
So great. Thank you so much, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the club this year.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, the key to the success is the Education Club at Brookdale, and I'm here with the president. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. This involvement fair is so fun. Can you tell me more about the Education Club?
It has so many things to offer you. It's amazing.
And can you tell me just one thing about the Education Club that you think is like the best part about?
Back here on Brookdale TV inside the Collins Arena, Jersey Blues and the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers. Terrific matchup tonight in Game 2 of our doubleheader. After we saw the Brookdale women's team get a much-needed bounce-back win in the opener. And now trying to make it a Jersey Blues sweep. But still 9:50 before this one is in the books. Kukai misses off the rim. Long rebound out for Smith. Shot clock does reset. Kukai takes it back for the Jersey Blues. Smith will slow it down. Now he pops a three, and it's way off. Well, it seemed like a good idea with nobody in the vicinity of Smith, but an errant shot.
Yeah, just kind of an ill-advised shot there, but good hustle there by the Jersey Blues, keeping that possession alive. They're just outplaying Atlantic Cape just a little bit. It's not by a whole lot, but just a little bit on each end.
Monsieur Hayes, no. Rebound, Fitch. That's taken by Abbott. Bucks look to run. Hayes all the way, blocked, but a foul. Kukai got the rejection. He looks around as though he can't believe a foul was called. And they got Fitch on the personal, his second. So it was a clean block from Kukai, but the foul on Fitch and Hayes at the line. Freshman from Galloway, New Jersey. Limited free throw attempts this year, only 25%. I'm beginning to wonder if these numbers are off.
That's what I'm beginning to wonder. I'm wondering if those numbers are correct.
This team is shooting the lights out from the free throw line.
Well, to be fair, both teams are. I mean, they're both making their foul shots, something that Brookdale has struggled with the last couple of seasons, in particular this year. But you got to give it to Atlantic Cape. They are getting it done at the foul line.
Kukai the steal. Kukai on a bounce. It is kicked. Inbound situation with 8:32 to play. Wilson posting. back for Wilson. They'll reset things. Smith comes to it. High screen Celius. Smith, the crossover. Backing in, looking for space. Finds Celius, missed it off the glass. Picked up by Celius, floats it up and in.
And I think this is the first game all year that we've seen Brookdale finally be able to run their offense the way they like to. They can run the ball, they can pass the ball around the perimeter, work for a good shot. This is the first game I think we've seen where Brookdale actually looks like themselves, being able to get it done on offense and defense on both sides of the floor.
Substitution, Garrett Jones, who's in foul trouble, but he returns with those 4 personals. Ray Abbott gets a breather, and now Adam Kukai checks out. Seemed like there was some indecision there, but you can't play with 6. That would be a penalty. Brookdale leads by 4. Hayes shovels it off. Bethel puts it in.
And it's a player in Bethel that I'm surprised Atlantic Cape has not used more frequently in this game. One of the few players that has size on this side for Atlantic Cape. 6'8", a freshman, a big body, a big target inside, very athletic. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten the ball more.
Felix gets to his spot and puts it home. Approach the 7-minute mark. Fancy dribbling from Jones. Adams, short. Now Brookdale running with Wilson. Back out to the corner. Waits for Felix to join the party. Carter pulls the trigger. Got it for 3. Jelani Carter, who's been held in check tonight, but a big bucket from downtown. Centino. Offensive rebound, Bethel. Loose ball, he's got it. Shot clock at 12. Cross court, Jones. He got it.
Tough shot there by Jones, but a nice job by Atlantic Cape. You heard Coach Anderson yelling on the sidelines, reset, try to reset the offense here. We're able to do that, and Jones with a nice basket.
Carter, same spot, in and out. That was halfway down. Bethel the rebound. Jones bounces. Bethel tried to slam it, and he draws the foul.
Like I said a moment ago, if you're Atlantic Cape, I'm really surprised you haven't been able to get the ball more to Bethel inside. Big body, very athletic, able to draw the foul there on Celius. One of those players Atlantic Cape, especially if this game stays close, you're going to have to utilize inside the post.
Here I'm going to say it again. He struggles at the free throw line. I shouldn't have said it.
Well, no, actually, it's better that you didn't say it, because had you said it, we would have been accused of jinxing him.
This is just getting silly now. Bethel has one more coming. Trying to make it a 3-point game.
Well, that time you didn't help him there. Should have said it.
Controlled by Bryan on the rebound. Off the Buccaneers. Now a timeout taken. 5:32 to play. 72-68. Brookdale holding on to a 4-point lead.
The club that you really think students should join?
You meet new people, that's first. Second, we have amazing advisors. Professor Latte and Marshall, they're amazing, and they'll help you with your classes. I know they're also professors. I have Professor Latte this semester, and she's amazing so far.
This club looks so fun, and you're so awesome. I'm going to be a great president.
Thank you.
We are here with the Fashion Club, a.k.a. the people who look the best in this fair. How you guys doing over here?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We got the drip on lockdown. You know what I mean? We got the drip on lockdown. Fashion Club. You know how it is.
Ooh, I don't know what that means, but tell me more about Fashion Club.
We look at fashion from all decades and all that. You know, looking fresh, looking fleet, being inspired by fashion, wondering how fashion influences us. Make some Brookdale fashion shows. You know, something light.
What did you love about being part of the Fashion Club? Why do you love being here?
I love being part of the Fashion Club because I'm an artist and being.
72-68, Brookdale leading by 4 as we go down the stretch in this one, 5:32 remaining. And if it looks familiar, that's because it is. It's another close game for the Jersey Blues. This one they'll try to come out on the winning side and punch their second victory on the year. Atlantic Cape, though, has stood firm and have kept this one close throughout. It'll be Jersey Blue basketball. Felix the inbounder.
3 games in a row that we've done this year that have been close.
Fitch gets it back and scores.
Good persistence there by Fitch. Earned his way into the starting lineup tonight. Quietly contributes inside the post area, but has had a great game so far.
Bethel sets the high screen. Jones lob to no one. It's to a Jersey Blue and Wilson.
Well, they were trying to get in the Bethel that time, but great defense there by Brookdale.
Wilson takes it himself and a foul.
And this is where, if you're Atlantic Cape, you're starting to lose touch with the game just a little bit. The baskets that were going in earlier in the first half aren't falling. You're fouling at the other end of the floor. Brookdale, to their credit, is making their shots. They're making their foul attempts from the line. They're starting to lose grasp of this game just ever so slightly.
Wilson, one of many freshmen in what is a freshman-laden team for Paul Chizek this year. Year number 28. Wilson misses on a pair. It's rebounded by Bethel. He had some competition for it. Hayes moves in, blocked and picked up by Brookdale before it's thrown away again and eventually taken back by the Jersey Blues. 3-on-1 break behind the back to Wilson. He missed it, but he tips it in. Centino comes right back, nearly interfered with by Bethel, but score the basket for Centino, who's been rather quiet in the second half, and credit Brookdale defensively for keying in on the Buccaneers' #1 weapon. Wilson posting. Now Bryant driving for 2.
Brookdale's just doing a better job of pounding that ball inside. That was something that Coach Chizek told us pregame. The team has to do. They have to attack the rim. They're doing that in this second half, and they are doing it flawlessly the last several trips down the floor.
Hayes with a tough shot that finds the net, goes down. 78-72. Fitch unable to convert, picked up by Jones. He's running. Slapped out by Bryant. Dave Calloway, who started but hasn't seen much action in the second half, in now for Ian Felix. Hayes steps back. Calloway on him. Jones, a spin block, but a foul. Wilson thought he got all ball, but it's a Brookdale foul. It's team foul number 9.
Well, questionable call on the floor for Wilson. That's his second personal. But an opportunity here for Atlantic Cape. We've been talking about it all night. They've been making their foul shots, and this is an opportunity down by 6 with the clock stopped to get back in the game.
Jones to shoot. Taking on a heavier workload with the Buccaneers without their second leading scorer in Marcus Franklin, who averages 24 points a game. That's a big weapon to be without. But Jones picking up some of the slack tonight.
And I haven't quite been able to figure out if it's hurt Atlantic Cape with him not being on the floor, Marcus Franklin, or if it's helped them, because they really haven't been able to change up, they haven't had to change up their offense really at all. They've been able to do their own thing. At this rate, they're still on pace to match their average of around 88 points a game. So they've done a nice job adjusting to the fact that even though one of your lead scorers is not active this evening.
As Carter flips it up and in. Carter, who's been held down tonight offensively, but 5 points here lately. 3 minutes to go to 6-point Brookdale advantage. Chance of defense. Hayes handling. Using the screen. Jones steps into a jumper, misses, offensive rebound, Bethel, and he's fouled. Fitch called on his third. It's the 10th team foul, and this is going to mean free throws for the 6'8". Felix replaces Callaway. Nothing out of 2. Wilson tripped up, but he's able to stay with it. Work it around to Bryant. Paul Chizek will bring his group together for a short timeout. 2.5 left to play in a situation that's all too familiar for the Jersey Blues. And down the stretch, you have to put the emphasis on free throw shooting and just overall execution offensively.
Well, certainly they've made their free throws. I mean, that's been a major theme this year that they've struggled with at times. But, yeah, down the stretch, you've got to be able to make your shots. And you're in an interesting position here. You're up by 6. You got 2:30 left on the game clock. You can kind of use some clock to your advantage. In fact, if I'm Brookdale, I try to take as much time as I can on each possession, make it harder for Atlantic Cape to get back in the game. Work the ball around the perimeter, maybe make the defense work a little bit, tire them out, but also at the same time chew on that clock, because Brookdale has been able to keep about a 5 or 6 point cushion really for the majority of this second half, and they really haven't relented from that. So try to use as much time as you can, work for a good shot, and hopefully those shots fall and you're able to hold on and get your first win at home.
3 of Brookdale's losses this season by a combined 5 points. A lot of tough pills to swallow in the early going. We're hoping that this one ends in a victory. They lead by 6, under 2.5 to go. Felix handling. Fitch, blocked by Bethel. And a fast break opportunity here as Hayes gets to it. Brookdale able to get back defensively. Inside, Bethel missed it with the right hand. It's rebounded by Wilson, intercepted by Centino, and that is a goaltend. Brookdale got it after it hit the glass. Score the basket, 80-76.
That's a close call, but a fortunate break for Atlantic Cape, because that was a bunny that Tim Bethel missed there underneath the basket.
These two teams both had missed so many from in close. Enter the post. Carter, a fade. Short. Picked up by Bethel.
Now, if you're Brookdale here, you can't afford to foul. Even if Atlantic Cape makes a basket, you cannot send them to the foul line.
Jones, pull-up is smooth. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, so much for that 5 or 6 point cushion. It's gone.
80-78. Crowd is into it. Another nice one on hand here at the Collins Arena. Felix driving, bank shot, no, follow, in and out. He's got it back again. And Fitch to shoot free throws for the Jersey Blues. Pair of substitutions on their way in. When they come in, it'll be Kukai and Callaway. Some alliteration there.
And I know Fitch gets to the foul line, and these are 2 big foul shots for him, but Coach Chizak kind of wanted Brookdale to back the ball back out, especially because you had a fresh shot clock. Take some time off the clock. Try to work the ball around. This one, though, upcoming for Fitch is probably the biggest of all, because if he makes this, it puts them up by 2 possessions.
Just a 40% free throw shooter. Freshman looking to make it a 4-point lead. And he does. We'll hit the 1-minute mark. Jones thought about a 3. Bucks will hold on to it. Deion Wilson checks in for Jelani Carter.
And again, same spot Brookdale was in the last time they were on defense. You cannot give up a foul here to Atlantic Cape. You have to just let this play out. Even if they make a shot, you have to get it clean. You don't want them going to the line with the clock stopped.
Centeno rejected, but a foul is called as Bryant got the block.
Ooh. It's a pretty good block there by Bryant, but it's a question of whether or not the other hand that you don't see from that shot came in from behind. For Centeno, these are some huge foul shots, Brian.
He's a 76% free throw shooter. Makes his living at the line. A very gifted scorer. And he misses on the first attempt. Carter back in. That wasn't a long breather. Centeno one more. This to make it a 3-point game, and he does, barely, getting the roll, and a timeout taken by Atlantic Cape. We are inside a minute to go, 48.9 on the clock. We'll take a break here on Brookdale TV.
Filmmakers from around the world submit their work to the Garden State Film Festival. Discover the next stars of the silver screen in Asbury Park, New Jersey, March 25th to the 29th, 2020. Submit your film today at gsff.org. Get your tickets today at gsff.org.
Brian Goudsward, Tim Kettlefamo, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew with you tonight. And if you've been with us from the beginning of this one, you've seen Quite a game between the Jersey Blues and the visiting Buccaneers of Atlantic Cape. Brookdale trying to hold on, leading 82-79, under a minute to play. And as these teams break the huddle, it will be Brookdale basketball.
Well, if you're Brookdale, the ball is in your court, not only physically but metaphorically speaking, right? You're really in control of your own destiny. Atlantic Cape is down by a score, down by a basket. If you score here on this possession, you put the pressure on Atlantic Cape to come back. You got to get the ball in first.
Leaking out is Bryant, bounces for Carter, and he is fouled. He goes down hard. Carter, one of the better free throw shooters Brookdale has, and so they are comfortable with him being at the free throw line in this situation, trying to make it a two-possession game. 83% on the year. First attempt, good. These teams will meet again in January. Two big free throws make it a 5-point Brookdale cushion. That 13 seconds differentiate shot and game clock. Bucks need a basket in a hurry. Jones! Oh, it goes! And the foul. Wow, what a move by Garrett Jones.
What a huge basket. I mean, you could not have come up with a better answer if you're Atlantic Cape. And Jones now has an opportunity to bring this down to just a 2-point lead. Wow.
And the substitutions coming fast and furious. Carter back in for Wilson. Jones trying to cut it to a 2-point game. And he got it. 84-82. Callaway fouled by Abbott. And now it becomes a game of free throws.
Well, if it comes down to free throws, I'm just going to say it now. Both teams have survived that test tonight. Doing a great job in areas that, on paper, they're struggling with this year. But, of course, it matters how well you are able to shoot free throws down the stretch, which decides these games. And if you're Brookdale, you really just, if you make your free throws, you'll be all right.
I'd say Wilson and Carter, the substituting is very frequent. Big free throws for Callaway. And a 1-and-1, he will get another.
Now, if he happens to miss this, if you're Brookdale, you have to get back on defense, but you cannot give up a foul.
Two big free throws for Callaway. 86-82. Under 30 seconds now. Abbott for three. No. Rebound snatched by Fitch. Brookdale's got it. Callaway is fouled. And 20 seconds remain. Callaway back to the line with a chance to extend a 4-point lead.
Atlantic Cape had the shot. Ray Abbott, of course, shooting lights out from behind the three-point line. Wasn't really set in the right arc. Not a great shot. That may have been the last opportunity the Bucks had, because even if Callaway were to miss both of these, it's still a two-possession game.
Each team in the double bonus, maxed out with 10. Callaway, he's 3 for his last 3. Clutch free throws have eluded the Jersey Blues for much of the early part of this season. Not tonight. And it's a 6-point game and nearly a giveaway as Centino advances. Centino pulls up for three. It's blocked. Picked up by Adams. He will score with 11 seconds to go. Foul committed by Hayes on Beon Wilson. Not done yet. Brookdale has been money at the free throw line. It's been a difference maker. High fives all around. We'll get a timeout in between free throw attempts. It's a full timeout, so with 10.1 to go, we'll be right back here on Brookdale TV.
Whether you're here for a 2-year degree, a career certificate, or planning to transfer to a 4-year school, Brookdale has the power to support you. Welcome to Brookdale.
We've asked former students for their advice to help get you started.
Make your classes your priority.
Study and ask for help.
Work hard. Every day that you have here on this campus, always try to make the most of it, whether it's spending time with your friends or doing the work that's required for each one of the classes in your studies.
Do not be afraid to get involved and to try to make some friends, because it will work out definitely in your favor.
Didn't know what to expect, but I started getting involved in clubs. I started meeting people.
Everything's been great.
Brookdale 10.1 seconds away from their first home win of the season. And a game that has been close throughout. The Jersey Blues have made their free throws down the stretch and have opened up a 5-point lead. Wilson, one more attempt. No good. Rebound Adams, final 10 seconds. Hayes fires. Yes, for two. Long two-pointer. And so Callaway fouled again. We are not quite finished. One free throw from Callaway here should about ice it.
How big has Dave Callaway been in this game? A player that we really haven't seen too much this year. He worked his way into the starting lineup tonight. Has made some big moments, especially late in this game at the foul line.
First attempt. No good. Buccaneers are alive. Now Robert Anderson takes a timeout. So after the timeout, Callaway will have one more attempt. If he makes it, it pretty much cements a Jersey Blue victory. If he misses, the door is open for Atlantic Cape to potentially get a game-tying three.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a half-court heave, so the chances of Atlantic Cape being able to force overtime are still very slim unless Brookdale does something that sends them to the foul line, and I think that would be on the very rare list of things that could possibly happen, but it's still a likelihood of a possibility, being at the fact that any foul, regardless of what it is automatically 2 shots at the foul line because both teams are in the double bonus. So if you're Brookdale, even if Callaway misses this, you have to be hands-off, let the chips fall where they may, so to speak, and if Atlantic Cape can come up with a half-court heave and send you to overtime, well, good for them. But you really can't really do anything, and certainly you don't want to try to foul them if they're going to take a half-court shot or even a long three that could in any way impact you late in this game.
Here comes the all-important free throw attempt from Callaway. He's made 4 of his last 5 to make it a 4-point game. It's good. And barring something unforeseen, this will do it as Abbott fires from half court, and it's over. The 3-game losing streak is over. The Jersey Blues had their first win at home on the year as they improved to 2-4, while Atlantic Cape will drop to a 500 record of 3 up and 3 down. And a game that was so close throughout. I mean, it wasn't often during this game, as we get set to welcome you back inside with Brian Garrettford and Tim Catalfamo, wasn't often in this game that any team had a lead even above 5 points, but the difference for Brookdale tonight was the execution down the stretch, and in particular, making their free throws to ice this game late.
Yeah, we talked about both teams coming into this game has struggled mightily from the foul line, and finally in this game, Brookdale's able to put all the pieces together. They're able to run their own offense. They finally looked like themselves and then make some really big plays at the foul line. Atlantic Cape was close throughout. You have to give them credit. This is a very good team in the Buccaneers that any team in the Region 19 Conference going forward is going to have to face either home or away. But Brookdale finally be able to put all the pieces together. Their first win at home, a monumental win, and maybe this could turn their season around. You never know. A very good win over a tough program tonight.
Big win for Brookdale. Once again, the final score tonight, the Jersey Blues win it 90-86 over Atlantic Cape, and that gives the Jersey Blues a sweep of the doubleheader here tonight. And so we want to thank you for joining us here on Brookdale TV. For Tim Catalfamo, the rest of our crew, I'm Brian Garrettford. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, as the Jersey Blues will be back in action 1 week from tonight right here on Brookdale TV. Have a good night.
We're proud to open our flagship campus to making earning a Rutgers degree even more accessible to the residents of Monmouth County. We look forward to the growth of new programs and opportunities and strengthening of our partnership.
Since 1998, this collaboration between Brookdale and Rutgers has created new roads to higher education for many New Jersey residents. Starting this fall, students are now earning their Rutgers bachelor's degrees at Brookdale Community College's flagship campus, right here in Lincroft.
My higher educational journey began as a non-traditional student enrolling in college for the very first time at the age of 30.